gonna
Just thought of that.
who's gonna explain the who's gonna explain the mechanics of it though? One of you has to, because it's not gonna be me.
Alex!
Me? No.
We'll do it live then. We'll do it live when it comes to that part of the show. I don't have
Wait.
any news. We're gonna figure out the mechanics when we come to that part of the show. Is what I'm saying.
Kulukuy.
uh, I'm gonna be sketching while we're talking, guys. I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna be drawing. I was thinking about drawing voodoo from Wildcats Butch, and then
What part of her?
I realized I realized that I kind of hate her Jim Lee costume, so I'm gonna be drawing her paramilitary Travis Charest costume, if that's okay.
Oh my god, you're such a nerd.
Why? Why? What's wrong with it? It's cool.
Because that's the first thing you think about when you think about voodoo.
Jim Lee.
Well, I think about
Paramilitary.
her beautiful soul. Her beautiful soul.
Like I said,
Anyway.
what a nerd.
Let's begin the show. Welcome back, everybody, to the Trash Comicaros podcast. Trash Comicaros is the #1 comics review and discussion podcast in the Philippines. My name is John. I'll be your host for this evening. With me are my buddies Butch,
I don't remember how to do this.
yeah, and Alex.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi guys. It is the first episode of the year of our Lord,
Yes.
2018. It's been a while since the last show, right? We last recorded
It's
like
been a
beginning of
while.
December. It's been a while. Beginning of December, end of November,
Ish.
and
Start of January.
I haven't heard your voices in a while. Hi, PJ.
Me too.
What? Just to get some normal people things out of the way. How were your Christmas breaks, guys?
It's alright.
Butch, you go
It's
first.
alright.
I know you went on a trip.
What trip?
Oh yeah.
Did you? A voyage of the mind? Or did you just stay at home with the missus?
Yeah, just stayed at home. Trying to remember if I got any good gifts this year.
Oh, shit. Nothing
Friendship.
memorable? Friendship. The best gift.
Oh god.
The greatest gift. No? Nothing?
No.
Socks?
No. Spend it with family. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been a blur. It's been a blur.
A blur of joy or a blur of hate?
A
Bit of both?
blur of reading comic books.
Whoa, nice. So you're gonna have lots to talk about then.
Mhm.
How was Manila traffic in the midst of the Christmas rush?
No, I wasn't here. I was out of town.
Oh, okay, good for you. I was in Cebu, but we'll get to that in a bit. Lex, you were in Cebu as well, though we did not see each other, my friend.
Awesome.
Yes. Unfortunately, I followed John to Cebu, but I can't find his house.
You didn't try. Did you try?
No, it's we spent 2 weeks in Cebu.
Mhm.
But the traffic is terrible. I mean,
Right?
terrible, man. I love Cebu, but man, the traffic is making me not want to go back there. But
I was. Yeah. Go
yeah,
on.
but it was still it was great to spend some time with the family. But yeah, I was unfortunately we didn't have the time to meet up, even like grab a beer or something.
Mhm.
So, because of the time constraint and the traffic.
Did you need to do Christmas shopping in Cebu as well, or you did that ahead of time?
We actually did it in Cebu, but we
Yeah,
did it
it's the worst.
yeah on the second day, but we didn't do it in the malls. That's the
Oh,
thing. Yeah, we avoided the malls. We went to there's this place in Manila, like a big warehouse full of
what the fuck? You
surplus
were in my part
clothes.
of the. You were in my part of town, and you didn't tell me.
Yeah, before you arrived, I think that
Oh, okay,
was
okay.
yeah on 22nd or oh no on the 18th. Yeah,
Okay,
before
okay.
you
I wasn't
arrived.
there yet.
Yeah. He wasn't there yet. So yeah, we did the
I arrive on the
shopping as usual,
22nd.
but
Yeah.
visited my old school,
Aw.
um,
Mm-hmm.
ate stuff, and sat in the car for hours because of the traffic.
Yeah. Did you find your old classroom? Your old seat?
I didn't go up in the classroom, just in the grounds outside.
Okay. You should make it your life goal to like find your old classroom and find your old seat, and then while the school is empty, just poop in that seat. You know, so
I
that
do.
whoever's occupying your chair now is like he knows he knows you were there. Alex was here. I was in Cebu as well, as you know. But what you know what was terrible?
But
Me and Jad, we had the last flight out of town just before the tropical cyclone hit.
Oh,
right,
fun.
So, yeah, it was an hour of really bad turbulence,
Oh
and
no. Oh no.
yeah, this is kind of sweet. We were holding hands the entire time. We were white
Oh
knuckling it the entire
gosh.
ride, but
Shit.
but we thought we were gonna die. It was that bad, but
Oh
we made it.
no.
Or unless this is a dream. But yeah.
That's the worst.
Other than that, Christmas was fun though. I was in a house which at Christmas time had 8 children in it and something like 14 adults total.
No, that's the
And
worst.
we did the math. That's pretty bad too. But luckily, the
yeah, it's
ride
pretty
home was
bad.
smooth. And Jad and I, when we got home, we did the math. We bought gifts for 28 people over Christmas,
Wow.
including children, of course, but
No, that
28.
that might be the worst.
Yeah. It was pretty terrible all around, but yay, Christmas time!
Yay.
Christmas time! Yay! Pencil says she was worried about us during the storm. Thanks, Pencil. That warms my heart. Cosmic was also asking about me, and yeah. But this show is not a Christmas podcast, not anymore anyway. We're gonna talk about some comic books.
Yeah.
Butch and Alex are avid comic fans,
Oh,
as
we
am
are.
I. Yeah, as
Oh,
far as last time I checked. But before we talk about what we actually read over the break, I have some numbers here because there isn't actually any huge comics related news other than like a bunch of trailers and stuff that dropped over the break. So we are going to talk about to begin the show. We're going to talk about the top 10 books sales wise. Your favorite segment, Lex. Top 10 books sales wise for the month of November of 2017. Uh huh. So just like before, if you remember how we do this, uh, I'm you just name a book and I'll tell you if it's correct or not. I guess. You don't need to name them. You don't need to name them in order, but you're usually good at this. What do you think sold really well in November of 2017? I'll give you guys a
How
clue. A lot of it is
Star
DC.
Wars.
Correct. Star Wars is number 10, guys.
still?
Uh,
Man,
yeah, Star Wars number 38 sold 73,885 copies, but it's the
hey, not
lowest
bad.
selling book in the top 10.
Oh,
Star Wars, of all things. Yeah. Anything else? There's only one other Marvel book.
November? Isn't that when what's that called? 1000 BC Avengers came out?
No. Or maybe it did, but it didn't make the top 10.
Huh.
Uh, I will bet Alex can guess what the other Marvel book is. It's a book you would have
Spider-Man.
liked. Nope.
Oh, Venom.
Nope.
Alex likes. What does Alex like?
Yeah. Who does
Jean
Alex
Grey.
really, really like? What? What?
Wolverine.
No, it was Captain America number 695. I
What?
think this is
Oh, the
the
one
first
with
Wade Somney
Chris
issue.
Samney. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
wow, I like it.
it is at number 7, having shipped 87,101 copies. All the other
That's a good
books,
book.
guys, yeah, all the other book guys are DC books.
Oh,
Can you believe it? You better believe it.
Batman, the one with
Yeah.
the Coppel cover.
That's it.
Not
That's
only
all of it.
that,
Batman.
pretty much. Batman Annual number 2 is number 9 with 76,000 copies. Batman the
Same.
Devastator is number 7 with 94,000 copies. Batman number 34 and Batman number 35 are number 6 and number 5,
Wow.
uh, respectively. Batman Lost number 1, drawn by Jorge Jimenez,
Triple
is number
H.
4. Uh, Triple H, Jorge Jimenez,
Mhm.
with 101,000 copies. Batman, the Man Who Laughs, or is it just Batman Who Laughs, is number 3
Batman
with
Who Laughs.
a with 105,000 copies. Now, this is gonna be weird. Number 2 and number 1 are the same book, except one has a lenticular cover. Can you guess what number 1 is of November 2017?
How about this little indie called Doomsday Clock?
Correct. Never heard of it, but whatever. Doomsday Clock is number 1 with 119,000 copies, with the lenticular variant also with 119,000 copies, roughly. Kind of small, actually. I expected it to sell more,
How many?
but that's
Sorry, can you
interesting.
say that again? Numbers.
119,000.
And the other one.
Also 119,000, give or take.
Wait, they almost almost exactly the same.
Yeah, give or
That's
take like
weird.
200. Yeah, it's not a double count, but it seems like people who ordered Doomsday Clock number 1 normal also
Ordered
ordered a lenticular edition. I don't know.
Killer.
Maybe that's the case.
Or maybe it's like
But
retailers could order them 1:1 or something.
maybe.
Right.
Maybe. And
Maybe.
in
That is very low.
October, yeah, it is. Like, I want to say sometime in October we had a book break like 200,000. And I think it was the Spider-Man, that first issue of the new Spider-Man thing. I forget. I
I would have
forget
thought this would
specifically
have
what it
gotten
was.
300,000 easy.
Yeah,
All things
exactly.
considered.
I mean, it is Watchmen related. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe because it's the end of the year. We'll see.
Huh.
In any case, we
Weird.
can move on to some comics talk. Butch, I know you read a lot of stuff over the break, but what do you think you want to talk about to begin with?
I read a lot of stuff, but all of it was Runaways. Um, uh, mainly because of the TV show, um,
Mm-hmm.
which also came out in November. So
Oh, is it
before,
done?
no, but I think it's almost done because they didn't
Okay.
do like a Christmas break, and
Okay.
so they're like up to like episode 10 or something out of I don't know. I'm guessing like 12 or 13.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, before watching or getting into the TV show, the only Runaways I ever had was, of course, the Cloak and Dagger issues, and so finally
Oh.
I decided, okay, why not? I mean, I guess there's more to the Runaways than the Cloak and Dagger issues.
Yes.
Uh, yeah,
You think
so
so?
mix that with the holiday break. I had a lot of free time. I'm like, fuck it, let's do the whole BKV run, and that's what I did. I read through all. I want to say probably almost like 50 issues of BKV.
So this is like the very first volume, right, with Adrian Alfona?
Yeah, it's mostly Adrian and Takeshi Miyazawa might be
Okay.
his
Oh,
name.
that guy.
That guy.
Yeah.
So the quality is pretty consistent. if you started from issue one though, like it's amazing how different Adrian's art is, and it's kind of bad at the start, the first issue. I don't know. I believe he came from was this his first comic book work, or it might have been like his early comic book work. And he came from outside comics, so I don't know. I guess he was still
Alfona?
yeah. I I'm not sure about this at all, so consider it the truth. He might have come from fashion design, or
I can see it.
I might be
Yeah.
inventing that. So he was still learning the ropes, I guess, when he was doing this. It's
Hmm.
really weird and kind of bad at the start, but by
At
issue
times, yeah.
yeah, but by issue like I don't know, like eight, like he becomes Adrian Alpana really quickly. By issue eight, and he's recognizably his art is recognizable already, and consistently good until the end of the end of his run. Um, so anyway, I guess everybody knows the basic idea of the Runaways by this point, right?
Can you set it up? Can you set it up just for some people who might not have?
Right.
For me.
Okay, so the thing is, it's about a group of kids who like hang out or are forced to hang out like once a year because their parents all like have this like project thing that they have to do. So these six kids, they um they're hanging out one day. They're all hanging out in one house while their parents are off doing whatever, and then they like kind of go exploring around the house, and then they eavesdrop on their parents. And then they find out that
Hmm.
that their parents are actually a group of supervillains called the Pride, and like they're the big supervillains in the West Coast in Los Angeles. And after witnessing their parents like doing some kind of like murdering someone like in some kind of ritual sacrifice, they decide that they it's up to them to stop their parents from from whatever plan that they have. And so yeah, that's and then they obviously it's called the Runaways, and most of the series is them running away from their parents who are trying to find them. Not necessarily to kill the kids or anything like that, but it's them trying to figure out how to stop the plans of their parents.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And
So
this is like the first issue, right? This all happens in the first issue.
I yeah, by the end of the first issue they are well maybe like the second issue. Yeah. Second by the end of the second issue they're already like running
Okay.
away. um
Right.
so the thing is I guess I'll just talk about this in terms of the in terms of comparing it to the TV show because you know I
Hmm.
bet a lot of maybe even you guys have spoken about the series before. Um, in terms of the big difference between the comic book and the TV show is the parents are given so much more space to breathe and to grow, I guess. The
Oh,
parents
really?
are fleshed out so much more compared to the comic books.
Mm.
Um, in the comic books, the parents are pretty much like generic evil, yeah, generic supervillains for the most part. And the story really focuses on, of course, the teenagers running around, their adventures, their character arcs, their growing up, and all that. But for the TV show, I guess they just they had to stretch things out a little bit. So
Hmm.
even up to the point, and like I said, we're almost done with the first season. The kids haven't actually mild spoilers, I guess. The kids haven't run away at this point. Like the for most of the first season, the parents don't know yet what the kids are up to, or that the kids even know what the parents are up to, right? Um, so a lot of what's going on in the first issue is we're finding out more about the parents. and the status of the relationships that the children have to their parents before presumably all the shit goes down in season two. I'm thinking. So all the parents they're and it's interesting because the for the most part I think the kids are maybe like not well-known actors, but there are a lot of recognizable names, uh, or at least recognizable faces amongst the actors portraying all the parents. So
Really?
yeah, if you remember Spike from Buffy the Vampire
From
Slayer,
Buffy?
yeah, I forgot his name. I'm sorry. Uh,
Spike.
and the dude from sorry, like I said, I don't remember these people's names. The dude from Alias, the super nerd from the Alias TV show. Can't even remember his
hmm
name. And so these are fairly well-known actors, and obviously most of them are pretty capable actors, I guess. So it's good that they are given um, more to play with in terms of the roles and the characters that they've been given, because I think each of the like the writers, the show writers were maybe thinking like, okay, so let's give these six families different problems that they can
hmm
different family problems that they can um, go through or just or yeah they can go through for the first season. Like there's like one like two parents that are having an affair. One parent
Ew.
is abusive with his son, like stuff like that. So like, and this, if ever, this is only hinted at in the comic books, and here we're getting obviously there's more space to play with when you're talking about TV shows. So there's a
Right.
lot more character development for the parents, which is actually pretty cool. I kind of like it because I was going,
I like it.
yeah, I started with the TV show and then I switched over to the comic book, and
The book.
I was just comparing. It's like the kids are so much better in the comic book. It's written by Brian K. Vaughan, so that's not a big surprise. But
hmm
the parents are basically uh like your typical two-dimensional characters in the comic book, and there's no other way to do it really because of space restrictions. But it's just so cool. It's almost like they're complementary to each other, even though even though the plot is, I guess the plot's basically the same. So it's cool because you're seeing more character development for the kids over in the comic book, and in the TV show, it's kind of teenage melodrama. So I don't know. That's not. It depends. Your mileage may vary if you're into that, but that's not really my thing. So I appreciate that the parents are getting a lot of run in the TV show.
Where does the runaway aspect actually come in? Because I imagine if we're showing the parents a lot, it means the kids are still at home, right? I'm talking about
Yeah,
the show.
yeah. They are not running away yet.
Uh-oh.
The running away happens in maybe the end of season one or maybe season two. So it's kind of a slower
Oh,
burn, a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
okay. So, are you enjoying the show more than the comic?
Um, hmm. It's hard to say because the 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 cool thing about the comic book is it's paced faster. So they have so many like adventures. Like they meet the. I'm sure you're aware of the son of Ultron. They do a lot of stuff with him.
Yes.
They do
Oh, he's
uh
around?
no in the comic book I'm saying,
In the comic. Okay, okay.
right. And then they have a lot of membership changes in the comic book, and then they of course
Mm-hmm.
they hang out with they meet different famous more famous more established Marvel characters. And then trying to remember the big meta arc I guess is resolved within even before Brian K. Vaughan's um, right even before he leaves the book he resolves his big arc. So that's cool if you want plot, right? And if you want um more development
Drama.
and more drama,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah. Which I don't. There, it's like I said, it's not my thing, but I understand how a lot of people, even people our age, I guess, could be into that. Um, then the show is so it's mostly good. It's mostly good.
Hmm.
There's some dialogue that's like, did you really just say that? Um, but like I said, the parents, they're fine actors, and there's like 10 of them, so that's that's a larger proportion of the cast. So it's hard to say. They're the same but different, but they're both good.
So I'm wondering, there's a there's a Runaway series right now, right? A new one.
Your boy Chris Anka.
Oh, that's right. But who's writing it though? Is it BKV again?
Nope, it's
Because I think he came
somebody.
back.
Did he come back? Isn't he like super Hollywood rich now?
I don't know.
or
But these are
saga
his
rich, to be
babies.
honest.
Sure.
No,
So do
I
you
have no idea,
recommend?
but it's not. It's definitely not someone I know.
Okay.
Right.
So Runaways is weird because it's one of those Marvel books that have had a lot of iterations and volumes at this point, but it it feels like an indie in the sense that to really appreciate the Runaways, you kind of need to go back to the beginning, to really get a sense of how it all began. It's not something that you can just jump into in Volume 2, Issue 1. Would you agree with that, Butch?
I would not know because I have not read anything else, and that
Oh,
that answers your question maybe. And not just the to
yeah.
really appreciate the Runaways, but I think the only way to appreciate the Runaways, because I have not heard any. There's not a lot of hype for the who wrote that the Strangers in Paradise guy, Terry Moore. Terry Moore had a run. Man, I'm trying to remember who else had. They've had like
Whedon had a run. Whedon.
yeah, he finished off the BKV run. But that was like 2000 and it's like it's been a while. Like going through the
It's been a while.
yeah, there we go. Going through the series, like like they're holding cell phones with like buttons on them. uh,
Yeah.
they're like a lot of Steve Jobs references. There's a lot of pop culture references. It's like, man, I mean, obviously the art is like I'd say the art is like a modern Marvel comic, but then you realize, oh shit, this was like 2003, 2000 up to like 2007. So that's the classic BKV run. So it's
That's
been
always the problem with having pop culture references in your comic, right? Because it dates it.
yeah. Warren Ellis is
It
like
dates it really
fuck
hard.
that shit. Like Warren Ellis is like who cares about dating your comic book. But yeah, for most people, it's like ugh.
Yeah. So do you have more stuff to say about Runaways? Because I can jump in here.
No, just the only thing I like to finish off like we were talking about. It might be the only way to appreciate the Runaways. They've done other things with the characters, but if you go back and just reread, I mean, just pick up the first that whole BKV run. It's worth it. I'm sure they've collected those in like giant what do you call those larger hardcovers, or if you can find the trade
Omniboo?
paperbacks, which are always on sale in book sale actually.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's kind of
Yeah,
sad.
they
Oh,
are they're worth it, worth reading.
I meant to ask. I meant to ask. How does the Velociraptor look on the TV show?
Man, it's not good. The effects are
Man.
the effects are fine. Old Lace looks like
Hmm.
a Velociraptor, but that's a problem because when I think of Old Lace, I think of the way Adrian Alpana drew him, which
Sure.
or her, but that's he or she was never drawn realistically, right?
That's true.
If you can recall, he has like this weird, like he's very colorful. He has giant eyeballs. Like it's a very cartoony, stylized dinosaur. And
Yeah.
I think other artists, that's a problem that happens with other artists. They just straight up draw a dinosaur, and I don't know. It's just not. It doesn't. You can't relate it. It's not a friendly figure, I guess. And the show does it the same way. It's just a dinosaur, a realistic looking dinosaur, and that's not fun.
Right. Does he have the stripes though? And
I
the red
can't.
eyes?
I cannot. I can't actually tell. She has the nose ring, but I can't tell about the stripes because I guess because of budgetary reasons, she's always in.
Hmm.
She's in the shadows a lot.
She always she like Spawn. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate because I was looking forward to seeing a dinosaur, understandably,
Of
I mean,
course.
because you
it's
know
a
me.
real looking dinosaur, but it's not old lace.
How?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, we've never seen a dinosaur, understandably, but when we say real-looking dinosaur, we're thinking Jurassic Park, right? And it looks nothing like
Yes.
that, I assume.
No, it looks. It could be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just doesn't
It
look
okay.
does.
Wait,
like old lace.
I might check it out. Before we move on to our next book,
Oh, hold
I
on.
want to say hello
And
to everybody.
sorry, one last
Oh,
thing. The lead actor and the character of Alex Wilder reminds me so much of you, John. So you
I
might
know you
wanna.
told me.
He's
Thanks.
he's literally a
Why?
he's literally a dungeon master.
Okay. God. But why does he remind you of me? Because he's charming,
Let's go with
handsome.
that. Let's go with that. All right, move on.
Okay, before we move on to our next book, I want to say hello to everybody on chat. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Eric Cañete, or Eric Canetti with us, guys. So sit up straight, tighten your shorts, put on a shirt. He's just listening to us talk about comic Burks. We have Johnny Lighthands, Pencil Wise is here since earlier, and Dread Crew, and a bunch of other friends. Johnny, we are recording an episode of our comics review podcast. Pardon me. It's called Tres Comiceros, and I am with my friends Butch and Alex. Lex, what did you read
Yes.
over the Christmas break?
So, I got a new phone, and
Oh, I mean,
Ooh.
it allowed
that's
me
cool.
to read
Wow.
comics on the go
Mm-hmm.
because that was almost impossible before because I only can read comics when I'm at home or in front of the computer. But enough with that. Um, I was able to catch. I was watching the Punisher TV series of like last month,
Ooh.
and
Mm-hmm.
um,
Ooh.
that show was really all about the effects of war on a person. So then I was able to catch up on the new Punisher series, Punisher the Platoon. It's by Garth Ennis and art
Mm-hmm.
by Doran Farloff.
Our
So,
favorite, Butch's favorite also.
Butch is semi favorite. I know
I'm
you like his
smiling.
style, Butch. You
Smiling.
love Starlight.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
this is a book about the first tour of Frank Castle to Vietnam, like his first tour. Um, how do you say this? It's very military drama. I think,
Huh.
Oh,
yeah, if you're looking for a Punisher that goes in the streets and shoots criminals and things like that, it's not in this book because it talks about the stuff that was going on in Vietnam, um, problems that they have with troops and corruption. Um, but at the same time, it's showing some characteristics of Frank Castle that we do not know because this was prior to him being the Punisher. But we can still
okay.
see some characteristics of him as the Punisher, being a tough guy and things like that. But this is more of a war drama, and there's a lot of military lingo that's being used. Sometimes I get lost, so I have to look them up.
Mm-hmm.
So This might not be for everyone, but if you are a fan of Punisher, especially the ones that Garth Ennis wrote, you might find this interesting because it's more of an exploration of the character of the Punisher before he became the Punisher. So, and the art is great. Um, Gordon Parlov is a great, he's an amazing cartoonist. He's an amazing cartoonist. Butch
Okay.
might disagree, but
Okay.
the way he draws stories, he draws expressions. It's it's amazing.
I
The
love Goran
simplicity,
Parlov.
yeah, the simplicity in the style, although it looks cartoony, I find it difficult to emulate.
I don't know that it's
And
cartoony.
Butch says
I
so,
mean, because he has a lot of really dark moments too. I mean, sure, cartoony doesn't necessarily always mean light, but he's
right?
cartoony in the sense that Jason Latour is cartoony. You know, like he
Yeah,
has a
yeah.
very what's the word?
Loose. Oh no, not loose.
A
Soft.
loose or very gestural style, and
Yeah.
he doesn't add a lot of detail. But the I mean, Goran Parlov doesn't tend to draw feel good comics. You know?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think he knows what he's
Except for
good at, which I
Starlight, I
like.
guess.
Starlight's
I
pretty
didn't
good.
read. Is it light? Is it feel good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's. I think it's the lightest book that he has drawn
Yeah.
Interesting.
compared to his Punisher work, which is brutal.
But because to make it clear though, I love all his Punisher work and even his Fury Max stuff. That
Right?
was great.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and his Barracuda run. That one is terrific. So anyway, that's what I've read. But
Oh.
can I insert some more? I have a few things to
Sure, you can
say.
insert anything you
So I've.
Hey, hey,
Hey
careful there,
man,
buddy.
this between
I
the
like
two of
that you
us.
asked like a gentleman.
I know,
Um,
right?
I've been catching up on the Hellboy books. We know that
Oh
Hellboy
no.
died
Oh, you
in
just really want
Hellboy
to
in
talk
Hell,
about it.
but I'm actually happy. I'm glad that they are exploring the Hellboy universe. There's a couple of books out now that are not focused on Hellboy, but are focused on the characters that are in the Hellboy universe. We have
Oh, here we
Rasputin,
go.
Rasputin, the voice of the dragon. Are this focuses on the events before Rasputin summoned Hellboy to Earth, and our main hero here is Professor Trevor Broom or
Hair sign.
Brussenholm.
Oh.
Yeah. We see him more in this book, like what he was doing before BPRD, before he was the director of BPRD, that he was
Uh-huh.
actually um, was sent as a spy and things like that. So they're exploring more of his history, and we can there's a lot of elements that are scattered all over the Mignolaverse that are being interconnected through these series. One of these is Koshei the Deathless, number one. Koshei
Oh shit.
appeared in Darkness Falls, I think. So
Uh-huh.
they explore his history, how he became the deathless, monster that he is, and what else? There's the Christmas special, Hellboy Krampusnacht. I don't know if I remember that, if I pronounced that correctly.
It's
It's a one shot.
Krampusnacht.
Yeah, Nacht.
Nacht
It's
is German for night.
yes, it is.
Nacht.
Mm-hmm.
Krampus Night.
Nacht.
Nacht.
Nacht
Nacht.
naman.
It's a one shot, and it's now become one of my favorite Hellboy Christmas stories. And the
Why?
last because it's drawn by Adam Hughes.
Adam Huge.
Oh my god.
Adam Hughes.
I was not listening until you just said that.
Wow. Nacht.
Also, last na lang.
No, keep
The
going.
only book,
No,
no, the
keep
only
going, keep
book that's
going.
happening in the like present time is
Uh
the
huh.
main BPRD book. So at the end of the latest
Sure.
issue, the current arc is BPRD, the devil you know. At the end of the
Okay.
latest issue of BPRD, there are hints that Hellboy might come back to the present timeline.
I'm lost. Is he not?
What?
What happened to him? Oh, I know where he is.
He
Okay.
died.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he
I
died.
remember.
So
He died.
that's
Wow.
it. End of my speech. Thank you very much.
So there's gonna be there's gonna be a time travel element, is what you're saying, in the
No, no,
Hellboy universe?
more like an X-Men resurrection. They're gonna
Oh
do an
shit.
X-Men.
He's gonna come back, but he's a teenager, and he's very
Yeah.
quippy when he comes back. He's got lots of pop
No,
culture references.
they kind of unearthed his coffin, but we don't know what it means.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh,
Yes.
but wait, you hardly talked about Krampusnacht. How
It's
was it?
about aside from the art, they
No,
re-
talk about the art, please.
There's
Because it's
want to
nothing
talk
Adam
about
aside
the
from.
art.
Hughes.
It's Adam Hughes, man. What do you want to talk about? I want him to
How
draw
many?
more
Is this only
lady
one shot?
ghosts. It's one shot.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How
It's
many
basically a
pages?
Christmas tale. Um, enough.
Okay, enough.
I didn't
I
count.
guess.
I didn't count.
Did he write it? Did Adam Hughes write it too?
It's by Mike
Hmm.
Mignola.
Oh, okay.
Mike Mignola. Yeah. Art by Adam Hughes. And
Okay.
the art is good, obviously.
Sure.
But
The art is
the
good.
story is a lot more interesting because it's about Krampus, which is
Mhm.
the counterpart of Santa Claus. But in this book, it
Mhm.
turns out it was just like a Scandinavian demon goat who thought himself as a Krampus, which then made him kill all those children for hundreds of years until he got bored and Hellboy stopped him. And then he realized he wasn't Krampus and he's just a goat ghost.
He's just a dude.
Yeah, which is,
Okay. I
kind of
mean,
funny.
thanks for spoiling me, but alright, that's cool, I guess. Did you just reveal the whole plot of the book? Is it okay? But is there
Just
more to it than that? Because I know you
that's
mentioned
it.
like ghosts and shit. Oh, thanks.
Oh, there's
uh,
there are ghosts looking for justice, and
uh-huh.
Hellboy is sent there to investigate.
Okay. I will check it out, even though I technically don't need to anymore. I will look it up.
Same.
Thank
It's
you.
just Krampusnacht?
Yes.
Okay. I will hold on. I'm gonna catch up with chat real quick. Uh, I'm not gonna read. I'm not gonna read anything that Eric Canet is saying. Uh, he's being a little lewd. Ramp said I'd add a fart joke in there and we're fine. We're gonna move on to the book that I read over the break. I read Tim Seeley's new mini. I don't know if it's an actual ongoing series from Vertigo called Imaginary Fiends. So it is written by Tim Seeley with art by Stephen Molnar and with cover art by a friend of mine here on the Twitch community, Richard Pace. It's quite well done. I believe Richard is completely traditional. He's not a digital person. But yeah, I read only the first issue. It looks great. Before I actually talk about what Imaginary Fiends is about, I want to tell you guys that I actually saw It over the break. Stephen King's It, the 2017 one. And I'm prefacing it with this discussion because
Hmm.
there's a lot of similar themes in the It movie and Imaginary Fiends because it deals with children having to deal with creatures that only they can see and creatures that adults are not privy to. And did you guys see It? The It film? The
I
latest
did.
one?
Yes.
Yeah?
I saw the
You
original.
Butch?
Just the original one.
Oh yeah. The bad one, I
Yeah.
guess.
Boring one.
With Seth Green. Yeah. The new one is really good. You'd like it a lot. Um but there are a lot of parallels. Imaginary Fiends is about this girl. Her name is Melba Lee, and she is in a juvenile detention facility because of some bad thing that she did when she was a child. And I'll just spoil this part of it. When she was a child, she stabbed another young girl something like 17 times. And it's unclear whether that other girl is dead or alive, but in any case, that's the reason why Melba is in this facility. And it is revealed later on in the issue that she didn't do it with any, what do you call this? She didn't plan to do it. She has an imaginary friend that made her do it. And it's sort of unclear whether the imaginary friend that she has is real or not. She might just be crazy, but her story is that she was made to do it by her friend. And I guess it sets up something because Tim Seeley likes to do procedurals. He did Revival, if you guys recall, which is finished, by the way. And even Revival itself crossed over with Chew, which was another image procedural show, procedural comic. And Imaginary Fiends seems to be going that way in the sense that Melba Lee, because she has had such an intense interaction with an imaginary friend, uh, she gets recruited into this special investigations unit that deals with imps, IMP. And imps are apparently creatures from another dimension that feed off of your attention and fear. So if you keep in mind what I said about it earlier, the Pennywise the Clown is a creature that feeds on children's fears, and that makes it more real. In that sense, Melba's imaginary friend in Imaginary Fiends
Yeah,
also feeds on her attention and
I
fear.
see it.
So the parallel is like the short pitch for this comic essentially is, what if Pennywise was your friend and he helped you solve crimes? You know, like if let's say he wasn't necessarily a creature that wanted to devour you, but it's like a symbiotic relationship almost. And I find it really interesting because the I forget the name of the imaginary friend. I think it's Polly Peachpit, and it's this giant spider lady that's really fucking creepy. And if you see Richard Pace's cover, you'll see exactly what I mean. She looks like something out of a Tim Burton movie, but it's a spider lady, essentially. But there isn't really a lot to go off of for this first issue. Melba is an interesting character because she's a criminal in a sense, but she didn't actually do any of the things that she did. So it feels a little bit like a road to redemption type story, but with a veneer of Stephen King's It, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
What did you say?
Um,
Just say a what story? Road what?
road to redemption story because
Oh,
she
okay.
she totally stabbed a girl half to death, or might even been she might have even killed a girl when she was a child. That's why she's in this facility, and yeah, it's about her essentially, and it's about her being a cop trying to fix things. The thing is, the very thing that's allowing her to be a cop is this imaginary creature, so a supposed imaginary creature that has a symbiotic relationship with her. So it's interesting. Tim Seeley is, as you know, Butch, he's one of my favorite writers ever
Mm-hmm.
since Hack Slash
Yeah.
and what do you call this? And Revival. But this Stephen Molnar guy, I've never actually read a comic by him. He's got solid stuff, solid storytelling. It remains to
Mm-hmm.
be seen if he actually stays on the book, because I don't know what the deal is here. But yeah, he's pretty solid. I like it so far.
Only
You guys
one
should check
issue
this
so
out?
far.
I've only read one issue so far. I don't know how many are out. Is that okay? Lex, I think you'd like this.
Yeah, it sounds interesting. Like,
Hmm.
but I dig it.
What do you mean? What'd you say? I
It's
didn't
like
catch that.
something that I would read. You know.
Oh yeah, that's true. It almost feels like it belongs in the BPRD universe, you know, or
Yeah.
something akin to Proof. Do you remember Proof from Image Comics years ago, with the one of the agents being Bigfoot, essentially? It feels a lot like that, but
Oh,
I
that
guess
one.
it
Yeah.
feels more. Yeah, I guess it feels more like BPRD.
Mhm.
But yes, if you have not heard of this or have not checked this out, I highly recommend Imaginary Fiends. I was actually intending to talk about Doomsday Clock tonight, but I have not yet read the second issue, and you kind of need to read that slowly, in my opinion. Because there's so many little details that you wanna catch on, and it's kind of a dense read. So maybe
It
we'll
is.
Lex, if you're game, we can do well. If you're game, Lex, we can do Doomsday Clock next week. I don't know if Butch is interested in doing that.
We can do it.
Are you, Butch?
I'm waiting for the what do you call it? The what do you call it? The director's cut or the unwrapped thing?
Okay. I
The
mean, because
trade.
you have opinions about the whole thing, right? About
Yeah,
Watchmen mixed in. Yeah.
yeah, but I don't care. I mean,
So
the art alone, you know,
yeah.
gorgeous.
Okay. I mean, it's Gary Frank. You can't go wrong.
Oh, and I
Uh,
found out that there's like a duo in it. What's his name? Mime, is it? Mime and Marionette.
yes.
So,
And there are theories about them and their role in this whole thing, aside from
okay.
the role that's actually being shown.
Spoilers,
But I'll
spoilers.
get into it next week.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get into it next week when we talk about it. That'll be it for what I read. Butch, is there anything else you want to discuss? Just real quick.
Uh, nah.
Lex, nothing else?
Headlopper. Please read Headlopper. I think
What volume is that now?
volume volume two, number eight.
Mm-hmm.
Eight. I think it just ended. Eighth issue came out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, is it a really thick one again, like 150 pages?
No, it's more like 40 pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, cool. That'll be it for the comics talk. We're gonna wrap up the show with a very brief panel discussion, guys. Although, if we're gonna try to do what you guys suggested earlier, I guess it doesn't really count as a panel discussion, right? What was it again, Butch?
It's kind of like a it's kind of like a game, but I don't think there are any winners.
Yeah, everybody
The
loses.
winner.
It's a game, but everybody loses.
He loses.
How's it go? how does
Who came
how
up
does
with
it
this
go
game?
again?
All right, so
You
it's
did.
yeah, this is Alex's idea, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
Explain it again to me, and we can come up with mechanics. I said we'll do it live.
right. So the basic idea is we're gonna find out like we're gonna name a famous comic book character or theme or property, and then we have a
Mm.
certain amount of time, and at the end of that time, we'll all blurt out the first name of a creator that comes to mind in relation to that character. That's pretty much it.
Creator that comes to mind, and just one though, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
So it doesn't. It can be writer or artist. We just
Yeah.
blurt out the creator that we most associate with that character.
Yes.
Okay. So let's give this a
And
try.
then the people listening, I guess they obviously they can play along.
No, they can't because there's a delay.
Actually, there might be a delay just
But
amongst the three of us, so I don't even know if this will work out.
there probably is. But I like that you thought about them. Think of the children. All right, so
How
let's
many
do this.
seconds do you think? Like seven, I guess. Five.
Oh wow,
What?
I like the lucky number. Let's do something completely arbitrary. 7 seconds.
Okay. All right.
But somebody needs to count out loud. All right.
Who'll do
It's
that?
gonna be
Alex
it's
has the best
who?
voice.
Yeah, that's true. Alex, you're gonna be the one who's gonna count out loud. Also, it's gonna need to be Marvel or DC characters because naturally, if it's an image character, it's gonna have the creator associated the most, right?
Yes.
Okay. Butch, you get to name the first character.
Let's go with someone easy. Batman.
1, 2, 3, 4. What am I counting for?
Uh, you should count. Also, you should
You're
count down. We're counting down.
Why am I
you're
counting?
counting you're counting down because once you hit 0, we all blurt out the name that we most
Including
Oh,
you.
associate with the
seconds.
character.
Including
7's
you,
too
Alex.
long. 3
Yeah.
seconds.
Let's make it 5.
3 seconds?
3
5.
seconds.
5.
3 na lang.
4.
I guess if it's 3, it feels more reflexive. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's
So
better.
Oh,
4
God.
seconds. Let's do 4 seconds.
Okay. Alex, don't forget you lost
Okay.
me to say yours.
Okay, sige.
Start
Ready.
from 4.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So you're gonna need to think about comics history while counting
While
backwards
counting.
in
Yeah.
Spanish.
I should get paid for this.
You go 4 3 2 1 go. Say go and then that's when we talk, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
you
don't
better give
you
me a
don't
good
go.
birthday present.
Okay. So we all
Okay.
go when Alex says go after 4 seconds.
Okay.
Go home.
Let's do another character because
Okay.
this next character the Flash.
4,
Count
3,
Lex.
2, 1, go.
Carmine
Wade.
Infantino. Wait, John, what did you say? Who did you say?
I said Mark Wade.
Mark Wade.
Wow,
I
we
said
all
Jeff
named
Johns.
different people. We all named different people.
Who did Alex name?
Jeff John.
Jeff Johns.
Jeff Johns.
Jim Johns.
Jim Johns.
Jimmy Johns. um,
Okay, why?
excuse me. Carmine and
Why?
He did
it's interesting
Bieber.
that yeah, and Mark Wade for obvious reasons, but Carmine Infantino is a artist, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting that aside from the creator, we only associate writers with the Flash. That's interesting.
I'm not a good Flash fan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Who is the
Butch.
definitive Flash artist? I mean, other than
I
Carmine
would-
Infantino,
yeah.
I guess.
I would
Ringo.
say, would you say Ringo? I was about to say Ringo, but now I'm
Yeah,
not so
that's-
sure.
Yeah, that's what comes to mind. But
Sure.
other Flash readers might have a different answer.
Ringo
Man.
Starr.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. You name the next one, bitch.
Let's do the X-Men. Oh, that's too easy. Let's do Wolverine.
All of them?
Just Wolverine.
4,
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Lionel
Lionel
Yu.
Yu. Oh, high five.
Wait, did we all say Lionel Yu?
Who did you? No,
I said
Alex said Adam Kubert.
Oh, that's valid.
Hmm.
And now we all named
Oh, so that's-
artists.
Yeah, we all named artists this time.
You both said Lionel
I mean-
Yu, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. The undeniable impact of Lionel Yu. But if it was gonna be a writer, who do you think it'd be?
Mm, that's tough. Claremont?
I don't think. Who?
Claremont.
Chris Claremont?
Claremont.
It has to be
But he
Claremont.
created him.
No, he
Of
didn't.
course.
What's his
Me?
name did? What's
Len Wein.
Oh, Len
Len
Wein.
Yeah, yeah,
Lean Ween.
Lin Wen.
Lean Wen.
yeah. Yeah. But
Okay.
the whole voice of Wolverine, everything is Claremont, I think.
Or
Like when he
Mm.
says bub and snicked and best
Snick-
at what I do
snicket.
and all that. Yeah. It's all
not
Claremont.
Franklin.
Yeah.
No, he
Lex.
he drew Wolverine I didn't write him.
Okay. Sorry na.
Sorry.
Noob.
Your pick next, Lex.
Let's go with DC.
Yeah. Shit.
What was that?
DC.
Okay.
Um, Green Lantern. Any of the Green Lanterns.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay. Go.
Four, three, two, one, go. Patrick Gleason.
Jeff
Jeff
Johns.
Johns.
Oh.
High five.
Yeah. What?
Did you say
Okay.
Patrick Zurcher?
Patrick
Gleason.
Gleason.
Oh, Gleason.
Yeah,
Okay.
the main reason I got into Green Lantern was when I read the Green Lanterns book by Patrick
The core.
Gleason and
So
Green
Gleason is
Lantern
the
Corps.
reason. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah, Gleason is the reason.
Hmm.
For the season.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Gleason never wrote never drew the solo book, right?
Yeah, that's interesting.
They did the
What's his
core,
name drew it?
but
Monkey
Yeah, Doug Mankey.
and
Mankey.
Ivan Reyes and that's it. Someone else.
Why Jeff Johns? Why Jeff Johns, Butch?
Um,
Rebirth.
yeah, Rebirth and then all the colors. uh,
Mm,
Even before the colors, just the yellow, the Sinestro core. So I don't know. That's he brought Hal back. So
that's true.
everything that
Exactly.
matters to me, basically.
Yeah, Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns for exactly the same reasons as well, because it always felt like, classic Hal Jordan fans aside, it always felt like he didn't really arrive until Jeff Johns put him on the map again. You know, like nobody really built the Green Lantern lore as much as Jeff Johns
Jeff
did,
Johns did.
and he still is, right?
Is he?
I don't know if he's writing. I don't know if he's writing any Green Lantern books right now, but you can bet your ass that every time they come up with something, they go like, "Hey Jeff, is this okay? Can I do this? Does this go against what you like?"
Yeah,
And
I
he's
bet.
probably like, he's just got a stamp. He's got a stamp with him at all times. Yes or no.
Jeff Johns
It's
approved.
just yeah, exactly. John John's likes. Um, who picked Green Lantern? Because whose
I
turn
did.
is it next? That was three
That's right.
already, right? Let's
Yep.
let's do one more round of three between
Yep,
the three of us.
sure.
Butch, you pick the next one.
All right, let's do. Okay, let's do Superman. This might be interesting.
Four, three, two, one, go.
Grant Morrison.
Kurt
Jerry
Busiek.
Ordway. Oh, it's all different. It's all different guys. Butch, you go first.
Oh man, I couldn't think of anyone, so I just went with the guy who did All Star Superman,
Uh huh.
which is a
Did you
a
read
great
that?
book. Yeah, it's freaking awesome. Um,
Mm-hmm.
this might be
Grant
because
Morrison.
I should have said Kurt Swan, but anyway. Um,
Yeah, well,
yeah, I
reflex.
haven't read a lot of Superman, so I just probably went with the the big name that that I remembered.
Yeah. Just to be clear, there's no right or wrong answer here. The game is who do you most associate with this character?
Has
And,
Grant Morrison done anything other than All Star Superman with Superman?
well, Justice League, I guess, right?
Yeah, but like Superman.
And some Final Crisis stuff. No, I don't think he's ever worked on. I could be completely wrong here, but I don't think he's ever worked on the Superman book. Well, that's not true. He worked on
Did he
Action
do?
Comics
Yeah,
with
New
Rags
52.
Morales,
Right,
New
right.
52. I didn't read that. I didn't read that. That could have been great, but I didn't read it. I doubt
Right.
it was though.
What about you
Um,
guys?
I named. Well, you go first, Lex.
Mine was Kurt Busiek.
Mm.
Ooh.
Mm.
I don't know.
Why?
I'm bad with Superman. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
just his name
You
came
don't
up
like his
with.
name?
You don't like his name.
His name is the most memorable names. No, I think
Mm-hmm.
it's his work I think the Superman books that I've read most were by him.
Mm-hmm.
Secret
I
Identity. What
think.
else?
So that
Yeah, Secret Identity.
I'm trying to
Um,
remember. Did he work on the
I
regular
think he
book?
was
there's something with like Camelot or something.
what?
I
Superman?
can't remember.
Was
Yeah,
that
Superman.
Superman, Batman?
I don't know.
No,
I
that
can't
was
remember.
Jeff Loeb.
Oh, right, right.
It's
Sorry.
It's
it's weird.
Superman Batman was Jeff Loeb. Mine was Jerry Ordway
Nice.
because growing up,
Because you're a nerd.
I read the what was that?
Because you're a nerd.
Yes. And growing up, I read Adventures of Superman, which was drawn by Jerry Ordway, and I just really love his style. If I didn't name Jerry Ordway, I probably would have named Tom Grummett because he's somebody I really closely associate with that character and with that family. So yeah, no
Yeah.
no deep reason other than the aesthetic just always reminds me of Superman and just very closely relates to that character. Next character, guys.
You.
Let's do a super team. Let's do Fantastic Four.
Oh,
And I'm not gonna name Wade and Ringo. I'm gonna think of someone else just because I always say Wade and Ringo. So countdown, please.
4, 3, 2, and 1. Go. Ryan Hitch.
Wade and Ringo.
Oh, I'm gonna say Jim Lee. Is that weird?
That's weird.
It's weird.
You're very weird.
Yeah, Jim Lee is my answer for. Uh,
Why?
I'll
Sounds
go.
good
I'll
though.
go last. I'll go last. Yeah, you go first, Butch, because you had the best answer.
I said Wade and Ringo because you said Wade and Ringo, and that was what was in my head. You
All
fuck.
right. That's, that's the best reason to do it.
Mhm.
But you didn't actually read that stuff, did you?
Nope.
Okay.
It's on my queue though.
Amazing.
It's on my queue.
Nice. Lex?
Um, Hitch, because I've
What?
only
God.
started reading Fantastic Four when he and
Shame.
Miller
Yes.
rebooted it.
What kind of friend are
That's
you,
It
when
John?
wasn't a reboot. What?
not
Why?
really reboot, but relaunched.
Not even.
What do you mean? What kind of a friend am I? What did I do
That,
wrong?
Huh?
you're not. That's your like favorite book, and you haven't like showed any good ones to Alex. Any good Fantastic
What do you
Four?
mean?
I
I
mean,
showed him the best one.
how come he associate like he's only read or he started reading with Brian Hitch Miller?
I can't. I can only tell him what to read. I can't make him do it.
Exactly.
He's
What
not
kind
my
of a friend
father.
are you?
What kind of friend?
You're a terrible friend.
Uh, my answer was Jim Lee. I don't.
Brian
I
Hitch.
honestly don't know why I said Jim Lee when thinking about Fantastic Four. Maybe because.
You have a man
Maybe
crush.
because. Mm, I think because Heroes Reborn was right around the same time Joe Mad became big, and I was like, oh, maybe I should check out more Marvel stuff, and because I was fairly new to Marvel when Joe Mad became big with Marvel, and I was like, who's this Jim Lee guy? I've never read Wildcats. What's Wildcats? I've never read whatever else he's worked on. Not Divine Right. Ooh, he's working on Fantastic Four. I like the Fantastic Four. I guess. Yeah. Thinking about it now, I think Jim
So,
Lee's Fantastic Four might be the first ever Jim Lee stuff I ever read.
oh,
And I think I just realized that now. Is that weird? Is that weird?
That
Is
is
that
weird.
hurting you?
you're
It's
weird.
weird. So weird.
Sorry.
That was good though. The Jim Lee
Um,
FF stuff. Not bad.
it was great. It was great. It was no Chap Yape, but
Fucker didn't finish it, but whatever.
uh, Lex. Next character. Last character,
Uh,
rather.
last one. It's tough.
Hi, Cosmic. Hi, Tenyor Creeth. Buongiorno. Go ahead, Lex. We're just talking comics, guys.
Yeah.
Mm,
Did I hurt your heart with the Jim Lee?
hold on. Let me think real quick
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
longer.
yeah. No press. No pressure.
No
Okay.
pressure. Four, three.
Who's the definitive? Uh, that's too easy.
Oh shit.
Mm,
Ooh,
Ooh.
the challenge.
He's like sweating
He's
buckets right now. Ooh,
trying not to say
who's it
um,
Hellboy
gonna
so
be?
hard.
no, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's true. That's true. Um,
He's gonna say
Daredevil.
demon.
Ooh, well,
Daredevil. Ready?
Oh.
okay, go.
Four,
This one's
three,
easy.
two, one, go. Alex Maliv.
Frank Miller.
Joe Quesada.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Interesting.
All right.
Why do you guys think that you're right?
Uh,
Because I'm right.
nobody's right.
Well,
Nobody's right.
well,
Okay. Once again, to people new on the chat, we are naming creators who we most associate with certain characters. Lex, who did you name?
Alex Maliv.
Okay, for Daredevil. Why?
Yes.
Why not
Because
Bendis?
yeah,
um,
yeah.
Yeah.
Bendis. I was drawn to the book mainly because of the art. The writing is great, but it's Malib's art that brought um, that new look of Daredevil, which was
You
from
look.
the Quesada run, the Marvel Knights, and then when
Uh-huh.
they put Malib in the book, it was whoa, what's this style?
What's
And
this?
what's this? It's just smudges, but it looks great.
I am drawn to it.
So
Mhm.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
what really what drawn me to the book, and
Mhm.
His name is Alex too.
because we have the same name. This is a good book
God damn
because
it.
there's Alex in it.
Mhm. Fuck. And I guess no one was drawing like that. No,
Yeah,
no one else.
Hmm.
that's true.
Aside from maybe Tom Coker, but he wasn't around yet, right?
Yeah, not like that. Not like
B-
Alex Maliv.
not like that. Butch?
The reason I'm right is because Frank Miller wrote like all the best Daredevil stories before Bendis came along.
Mhm.
What's
Mhm.
this? Man Without Fear, Born Again, obviously. The stuff that he drew, the Elektra stuff. There's one more that I'm missing. What the hell was that? Whatever. Frank
Mm.
Miller. Your correct answer.
Okay.
2018.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Uh, Mine is Joe Quesada, and I forget if Joe Quesada was both drawing and writing it, or did he have a co-writer when he launched Marvel Knights?
Kevin Smith.
Was it
Palmiotti.
Palmiotti?
Yep,
Kevin Smith.
I think so. I might be wrong.
Kevin Smith.
Kevin
Mm.
Smith did
Yeah,
Daredevil, like
but who
yeah,
was drawing? Quesada, right?
Quesada.
Yeah,
Quesada
yeah.
was drawing all that. Yeah,
Yes.
and I think that's why I most associate Quesada with Daredevil because when I came back to comics around 2005 2006, it was
Uh-huh.
him helming Marvel at the time. He was the EIC right
Yeah.
around the time TK started
Hmm.
as well, and just uh just the whole idea of Marvel Knights, as far as I know, started with Daredevil, and
Yes.
it spawned a whole new, like, I want to say, flavor of these classic characters that we had never really seen before. It was almost like Vertigo in Marvel, but
Uh-huh.
starring characters that you already knew and loved. And I love that about Quesada's Daredevil.
Yeah.
But it's strange that I don't even remember who else was working on it at the time. I guess I
Uh,
wasn't really focusing on the art either. Like, I even forgot that Quesada was drawing it aside from just writing it. You know?
yeah.
It had nothing to do with the art, even though I love Quesada's art.
Right. No, that's valid.
Were
And that's
you?
the same
Mm-hmm.
series as the Maliv Daredevil.
Is
I
it?
I
Well, the same
think
No, no.
so.
volume.
Yeah, same volume. I mean, sorry. Yeah. Right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Are we wrong, Lex?
Um, the Maliv story started on a different volume after the one with Kevin Smith.
Oh, okay, okay. Right,
I,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, when Bendis got on, it was no longer it no longer had a header Marvel Knights, right? It was just Daredevil,
You
as far
know,
as I know.
I'm not
I
sure.
think
I'm not
it
sure.
might
I think it.
have, if
I think it was still
maybe.
Marvel Knights,
For
maybe.
like part of it, but his
Oh,
run was
yeah.
so long. So,
Interesting. Do you remember Marvel Knights Spider-Man by Mark Miller and Terry Dodson?
Was it the one with Black Cat?
Yes,
yeah. And Mary
and
Jane.
that weird rape story. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I think that's all the time we
Mm-hmm.
have for this episode, guys.
What a creepy ending.
Lots of
The heck? Okay.
we
Jeez.
we talked a lot of comics, which I'm happy about. We didn't even get to cover everything we read.
Yeah.
Um, we're gonna do Doomsday Clock next week, and it's been a while, and a couple of things that you read also next week. Butch, where can people find us?
They can find us on our Facebook group and Twitter, and just look for Trust Comic Cars over there. There's a pinned tweet on our Twitter. You'll find links to Reddit, YouTube, which I haven't updated in a while. I'm sorry, and our Discord community. Please join the Discord community. We're kind of active there. Just hang out with us. We all finally downloaded the app on our cell phones, so we are actually
Yay!
active on the Discord community. Login is required though,
Yay!
but it shouldn't take too long. If you and John, you maybe should plug your Twitch feed over here.
Oh yeah, to people listening to this on the podcast website, you can follow me on the social media, twitter.com/Johnamore. You can follow me on twitch.tv/Johnamore and Instagram at John_Amore.
Do not follow Alex on Instagram. He has too many followers. So just saying that.
Yeah, ridiculous. He is ridiculous. No, it's Alex Cipriano, I guess. You can follow him on Instagram. That's
Whatever, that
cool.
guy. That guy.
Yeah, Crease and Ramp, thank you for hanging out with us till the very end. We are about to wrap up the show. We've been recording for a little over an hour. Oh, an hour and 30 minutes. Oh yeah, we're
Oh
almost back
wow!
at the under siege threshold, Butch. We're doing
Yeah.
it. Bring it back,
Doing it
2018.
right.
Uh, thanks everybody for hanging out with us and talking about comic books in chat. I'm gonna read more. I'm gonna read the chat again when the bot is available. It's kind of ridiculous. Eric Canetti was hanging out as well. Once again, the Ramp, Dread Crew, Pencilwise, Cosmic Zord, all the familiar faces and some new faces as well. We're gonna try to do this again next Friday, and we're gonna talk about comic books. Once again, this has been the Trash Comic Heroes podcast, and we bid you adieu and hasta luego. Good night, guys.
Good
Bye.
night.